Okay, hey everyone, this is Adri Theron, and I have another Otome video for you where I just go on and ramble about the latest route I've played through because it's fun, and this is what YouTube is for, right? Totally, 100%. So, I've been playing through Amnesia Later X Crowd, which I received a review copy from Idea Factory through Keymailer. So, thank you to those two companies for giving me this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. Um, Amnesia Later X Crowd is the fan disc to Amnesia Memories, which is on Steam, PS Vita, Switch, and the fan disc is just on the Switch. So I don't think Amnesia Memories sold super great on PC. Um, I haven't seen like Idea Factory has been releasing like a ton of games on the Switch, right? And just the Switch. So none of their Otomes have been put on PC. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I don't know if they just don't think there's a market for it, or potentially the other thing is it's probably easier to translate the Switch version from Japan than it is to convert the game to work on Steam, since I assume in Japan they don't already have that format. So that's unfortunate, but you want to play Otome games, having a Switch is a very good system to have. Okay, anyway, so for Amnesia Later X Crowd, I have just finished like Shin's route, and I have Kent left. So I've almost finished the game, and this is probably like the fastest I've actually finished a Switch Otome game, because these games are pretty long. And I, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it, which is probably why I've really just been like pounding through it, because I'm just like, oh, I love this. I think I actually like the Fandisc a little bit better than the original game, which sounds really odd. I don't know. You get to see the MC come to life a lot more because she doesn't have amnesia anymore. So, yeah. So the Fandisc is a direct sequel to Amnesia Memories. So you start Amnesia Later. It's like the first half of the Later X Crowd. So Later X Crowd is two fan discs combined into one when it got released here. I think originally in Japan it released as two separate, and then I think around the PS Vita era, I can say words. Around the PS Vita era, I think they combined them together, and then on the Switch version they kept the combined one, and that's what we got here in English. So that's what I'm playing. So when you look at the menu, you go up to get to Amnesia Later, and you go down to get the Crowd. I'm actually kind of impressed with how they combined it together, because I was not expecting that. But so you go to Later and you do New World Story, which is completely separate from the storylines of the first game. And it's set in August, and you have amnesia. And of course, all the guys like you, and you have to pick a guy, and you have a little short story. That's cute. No bad endings. Then you unlock the after story for Amnesia Later. That is a direct continuation of Amnesia Memories. Okay, you go down to Amnesia Crowd. There's some little working stories based on like in the cafe. I assume those are set in like the period you have amnesia. That's not entirely clear. And you also have these little date scenarios that you can do with the guys, which is set in the Amnesia Crowd time frame. And there's this suspense storyline. Does have bad endings and good endings, but the suspense storyline is actually set during the guys' original routes from Amnesia Memories games. Okay. So, and then there's also like this love thing. So that's how you get to the little dating scenario. And there's also an after story there. So that's the Amnesia Later after story. So the Amnesia Later after story more or less picks up. I said the wrong thing. That's the Amnesia Crowd after story. So the Amnesia Crowd after story picks up where Amnesia Later ended. So if you want to play like things kind of chronologically, go down to Crowd, play Suspense, go up to Later, do your little New World scenario, then do the Amnesia Later after story, then go back down to Crowd, and do the Amnesia Crowd after story and the Amnesia Crowd little date-in scenario. And then all the cafe stories are just like extra cute little things. So kind of complicated. You could also just like go play all of Amnesia Later and then go down and play all of Amnesia Crowd. I like to hop back and forth since it's one game for me. Like, I would have just played one and then the other. They had released separately, but since they're in the same game for me, it's pretty easy. I'm hopping back and forth just to get chronologically kind of the same timeline. It should be kind of sort of. So, Shin. Okay, in Shin's world, the heart world, Amnesia Memories, you guys were childhood friends. You'd had an accident at the lodge. In August, you have amnesia. You guys also go back to the lodge to kind of investigate your incident that had happened. I don't remember exactly how long before August it happened, but yeah. So you're investigating that, um, you know, death scenarios, and, interact with Toma quite a bit. Toma is also your childhood friend, so the three of you were childhood friends and grew up together pretty much. Come to find out during this investigation, your accident, which is basically you fell off a cliff, is you did not fall off that cliff. You got pushed. And the person who pushed you was Toma. And he's basically like, why didn't you choose me? And then pushes you off. Yeah. Yeah. So Toma almost killed you. It wasn't Ukyo for once. And it's kind of funny because I remember I don't remember which route he said it, but Amnesia Memories in one of the routes, Ukyo's like, hey, at least I know I'm crazy. Toma doesn't know he's insane. Uh, and Toma is very, very crazy. So Toma's craziness comes out in this route. So at the end of the Amnesia Memories, Toma kind of just like disappears. He can't really forgive himself, right? And he's like, I can't believe I did that. And it kind of like points to like how much the world was kind of affecting things, because Amnesia Memories was kind of like Final Destination, right? The world is trying to kill you. Your fate is for you or Ukyo to die. So as long as both of you are living, the world is trying to kill the both of you, right? So very much Final Destination-ish. And so as you were doing all this stuff with Shin, you guys end up going back to Lodge to investigate. You figure out Toma's the one who pushed you off, and you found out that, you guys were dating, though you guys are kind of struggling a little bit in the transition from like being childhood friends to boyfriend, girlfriends, just lovers, So things can't stay the same. So that does get explored a lot more in Shin's routes for Later X Crowd. It's really cute. It's kind of very wholesome a little bit. It's kind of like, man, you guys need to work on your communication. Just freaking talk to each other. It very much comes across as like Shin is the youngest love interest of these games. So in Amnesia Memories, he's in his last year of high school. And even during the Fandisc, for a good chunk of it, he's doing his studying for his entrance exams and stuff. So he's kind of on the younger side. You can make the argument that he's probably not as mature as some of these others. He's not crazy like Toma and Ukyo. So maybe there's not everything, for maturity. Shin's mature in his own ways, but then others he's just kind of immature, and especially in his relationship with you, he kind of acts a little immature. And he's definitely like, it's very much, he's like, I don't want to push your boundaries, but you're driving me insane. And he basically more or less many times just like implies he wants to pounce on you. And I did find that very entertaining. So it's not like a little bit of spice, because he's like, man, I don't know if I can control myself. So, but not as spicy as Icky's, and that's Icky's route, and still not like that spicy realistically. It's more kind of cute and wholesome, because he's like, I want to push you faster than you want to go, but I want to go faster. And this very much causes communication problems. And so it's cute. At the end of the day, his route is like cute. And also like, like there's baggage in this route a little bit, because, Toma's not there anymore. So that's an interesting dynamic. I don't want to go into spoilers too much. But the do we forgive Toma for what he did does kind of get brought up quite a bit. And I am happy they addressed it. It's kind of like, I really appreciated like Toma's route addressing the cage, right? You can't not address that. That was a big thing. And that's kind of like in this, Toma pushes you off a cliff and you guys don't prosecute him. That's pretty much made clear at the end of the original game. He kind of just goes off into exile by himself. And I think you guys more or less said that you weren't going to tell anyone. The story was like he was there and like it was an accident. It wasn't Toma pushed you on purpose because he was jealous you didn't pick him. That is not what you guys tell everyone. So that's you and Shin's secret, and that's all stated at the end of the first game. So, but that whole thing, the issue of Toma is addressed, and like kind of like the gap he has in your life, and as you guys try to move on. So it's a very wholesome route. It's very cute. It's very sweet. Shin is trying to be a better man. He's trying to be more understanding, less pushy. I do remember when I played Amnesia Memories, I was like, I'm not really great with some of these terms, but I think like a Sundare is maybe the term for Shin. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Please correct me. But he's kind of like he's kind of a jerk. He's like, I love you, but you're stupid. Oh, and he's like, oh, you're dumb, but I love you. Stuff like that. And that's definitely toned down, I feel like, in the after stories. Because there's definitely moments in like the first game, I was like, Shin's kind of being a jerk. I'm like, do you really love me? Are you sure? I don't feel like you do. And that's definitely like really toned down in the Fandisc, which I appreciate. Because that was kind of like the only kind of like thing I kind of like, that's one of the main reasons that like on the list of guys, like Shin is placed number 4 out of 5 was because I was like, he's kind of a jerk. Whereas like, I mean, okay, yeah, to be fair, Toma locks you in a cage, Ukyo kills you. Ikki is a playboy, you know, whatever. But yeah, I guess my bar is, well, Shin's mean. Shin's kind of, it says mean things to you. Toma doesn't say mean things, but he locks you in a cage, so it's fine. And Ukyo tries to kill you, but he's not being mean to you. Yeah, I can't explain it. Okay. So Shin's nicer, and he's not crazy. If I was normal, maybe Shin should be number 1 rather than Toma and Ukyo. There's something wrong with me. I like the crazies. So, okay, that's enough. This is going on long enough. I could ramble all day. Anyway, so that's it for this route. I have Kent left. I'm going to try to knock out Kent in like the next week so I can get his video. And then I just overall talk about the game and, you know, do my blurby thing, my blabby thing, and go on and on. But if you've been watching, I do appreciate it. And thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.